What's up guys, it's Weezy here and FIFA 18 has arrived. We have the console version, we bought the Ronaldo version, so we have 3-day early access on PS4. So what you guys are going to see today is the first gameplay of FIFA 18 for my entire channel. So what I'm going to be doing is actually getting hands-on with the game. I'm going to be putting some FIFA points on and you guys are going to be seeing the first progression of the club for the Weezy Army series. So what the Weezy Army series is, this is the account that I spend a majority of my time playing on. I put time into the SBCs, I play seasons, I'll do FUT champs, I'll play the daily knockout tournaments, I actually put FIFA points on it. So from a traditional standpoint, it might not be a road to glory that some of you guys are used to where people do it totally for free, but it is in the sense that I'm starting from day 0, day 1, and actually going right through to the end of it. So our first episode, that was more of an episode 0. That was where we got hands-on with the web app and we actually checked out our loyalty packs, but this is going to be our first full gameplay. So before we get started on the video, if you could please leave a like on the video, leave any comments or questions you have down below. I love hearing from you guys. I also try to answer every question that you guys have, so whenever you leave a comment down below, I'll always try to reply to everything that you guys message me. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate your guys' support. This is the very early days of FIFA 18. This is a really high traffic time for a lot of YouTubers, but I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. So today we're going to be playing, I'm going to try to edit as little as possible. You guys are going to be getting my live reactions from my first impressions of the actual game. I haven't played the demo that much because I didn't want to ruin it. I wanted to really just get hands-on once the game, so if I take a bunch of L's, you guys are going to see it. So why don't we just jump right in and you guys can see what I build from day 1. Alright guys, stupid me, what a goof I am. When I was editing this video, I accidentally deleted the face cam footage of my live reactions. I feel like such a moron. I was trying to figure out how to recover it, but because since I'm on a Mac, there's no ways to recover it without buying footage, and I was just like, you know what, I'll just do a post-com with it. So I apologize guys. I'm going to have to do this post-commentary and without face cam, but the good news is I sped up a lot of it, especially some of the monotonous stuff regarding the pack opening, so I sped it up so you guys are going to see everything, but you're not going to be watching it in real time. The video was a little bit long originally. It was like an hour and a half, and I was like, oh man, I might have to speed up some of this footage anyway, but now I can actually do it at a regular rate, and I can just cut out all the parts that you guys want to see. So as we jump into the video here, you guys see that I'm starting the video by getting the loyalty stuff. Not loyalty stuff, but the stuff that you get with the Cristiano Ronaldo edition. You obviously get 3-day early access from people that bought the standard version. And you get the 5-game Ronaldo loan, Cristiano Ronaldo loan, and I get a jumbo pack. You guys know my feelings on jumbo packs. I'm not a big fan of jumbo packs. You don't really get anything, as you guys can see here. I didn't get anything with that pack. I got like some Argentinian guy that probably won't even sell. I'll just have him rinse through the SBCs. But I think I get one of those each week for, I believe it's 20 weeks at the start of the game. And then if you bought the R9 Ronaldo version, you get 2 of them each week. So they are okay for the first week or 2, but once you get into like week 5, 6, 7 and plus, they're not really, I mean, unless you pack somebody flukily that's really big deal, you're not really going to get anything that's worthwhile on the market. Contracts, obviously, at this part in the game are not worth very much because so many people are opening packs. And I'm just going to save all of the squad fitness stuff. So as we finished with that, we threw all that stuff in the club, and now I went into the catalog. So because I played so much Ultimate Team, you guys know that I've played this for 10 years since literally day 0. My EA FC points are through the roof. You guys can see it in the top corner there. I've spent so much time playing Ultimate Team that I had something like 180,000 even after I've opened up all the catalog stuff for FIFA 17 and previous FIFA. So I was able to luckily jump into into all the heavy stuff. So basically what you want to get out of this is all the loan players that you think you can use, especially early on. Now the player prices are so high, I actually might find use of the loan players, which I usually never do. And I'm not going to try to spend as much money on the game. We did spend 12,000 FIFA points in this video just because I wanted to get started, but I don't plan on putting as much money into the game as I have in previous years, because as last year you guys saw, you don't really need to. You can build a wicked team without even having to spend a dime on the game. So this is really just to get started. So some of these loan players, especially early days here, I might actually be using them quite a bit in the squads. I also unlocked the bigger coin boost. So there's a 15-game 1,000 coin boost. Those are going to be very important early on for making coins. Also the 99 contracts. I think if you've unlocked if you have enough points to unlock level 50, or if you're at level 50 or above, you can actually get 5 of the 99 game contracts. I don't ever use those. I end up selling them. I put them on the market and sell them, but I'm just waiting for it for now. So I'm just going to harbor them in the club until they actually have some use. Also, unlock all the kits and all the balls, even if you don't plan on using them like me. I don't think I use any of these kits, but I'm just going to discard them. I might keep one or two, might keep 1 or 2 of the balls. I really just keep some of the Nike balls, but I don't really change the balls too much throughout the course of the year. You don't even really see them that much. So I just keep some of the, like 1 or 2 of the balls that I can kind of switch through, and then the rest I just discard. You're only going to get maybe 1,000 coins at the very most for discarding all of this stuff, but 1,000 coins is 1,000 coins, especially really early on in the year. So definitely worth doing. Some of those are really ugly balls too. So like, I don't know anybody that uses the Hummel ball. Maybe some of those Adidas ones are kind of cool, some of the color ones, but whatever. You guys know for the most part what ball you're going to use, so I doubt that you'll be keeping all of those in the club unless you just want to collect stuff. None of the celebrations I really care that much about, or any of that other junk in there, any of the season stuff. I don't really play a lot of season, so as you guys can see, I'll keep some of that stuff, but I'll pretty much just discard almost anything I can. I also add 3 more games to Ronaldo, so another reason that if you didn't buy the Ronaldo version, not a big deal. You only get them for 5 games, and you can go unlock them in the catalog for another 3 games. So 8 games, not a very big deal. Also, like very early on, like you get a lot of noob guys that are going to quit out anyway, so you pretty much waste a lot of these games. So that's why I'm not a big fan of a lot of the loan players, because you could come across a bunch of goofs that just quit out of the game, and you end up losing those games anyway. Also, the daily objectives, definitely worth checking out. The squad battles, that's something that we're going to do later in the game, so we definitely unlock that. But anything that you can do in the menus, like you don't necessarily have to do all the daily objectives, because some of them are really silly, like go and get a Liga player and score, get an assist with a Liga player, midfielder, whatever, or score with a defender from the Bundesliga or whatever it is. So like a lot of those I don't plan on doing, plus like you don't get a huge reward for them. I just do the ones that are really like low-hanging fruit that you can definitely go and open or unlock very easy. So, you know, just do those, but keep your eye on them because they do change over daily. So we did put 12,000 FIFA points on. This is going to be the start of the pack opening. In our first pack, we didn't get Jack all. We started off quite slow. Jagielka, he might sell for stuff, but pretty much my theory with a lot of these packs is I'm just going to put all the common stuff into the club, because as you guys know, especially later on when you start seeing a lot of rare player packs and special packs, not a lot of these packs get opened like regular ones, so the rares actually have some value, especially later on when SBCs come out for leagues and for marquee matchups and whatnot. So these guys are junk right now, and I hate their guts when I see them pop up on my screen. But they actually are going to have some value. You know, some of them do sell, but like a guy like that, like the Argentinian player, like that guy's probably going to have some use later in the game. So just throw all that stuff in your club. Even the guys that are duplicates, like you're probably going to get a lot of duplicate common cards. So just make sure that you put those on your trade pile, because who knows, some of them sell. Like I actually had a guy that I was prepared to discard, which I packed later in the episode here, and he was a Spanish player from the Phoenix team in, I want to say either Sydney or Phoenix. They might be the same team actually, but the team from the Australian League. He was a Spanish player who plays from the Australian League. His name's escaping me now. But I was prepared to discard him, and he actually quick sold for, not quick sold, but I sold him like almost immediately for 4,000 coins on the market. So he's a guy that like you would just look past and you might just feel like, oh, this guy will never sell for anything, and they actually do, because especially right now when guys are building a lot of these SBC teams that have like high rewards in them, you're going to want to go out and check to see whether these guys fit in them, because like a Spanish guy who plays in Australia actually has a high demand, because if you need a bunch of leagues with one nation, like guess where they're going to go? There's not going to be a lot of Spanish guys in the Australian League, so sell that guy and just look for value guys like that, because there's crazy money to be made right now. So many people are just thinking, oh, I didn't pack Ronaldo or didn't pack Messi, so I'm just going to discard everything. That is a silly way of looking at it. Make sure that you go out and find value, because there are, like I said, crazy money to be made. Even just going out and trying to get guys on bid, you can find a lot of good players that are just available on bid that you can get. So as we jump back into like the packs here, I wasn't packing too much stuff. We started off quite slow. Picked up a little bit. That's not a bad pack right there. Getting Giovinco and Rudiger. Antonio Rudiger actually goes for a little bit I picked up Carlos Vela there. I was actually surprised by how little Giovinco went for. He only went for 1,000 coins and ended up packing him twice during this pack opening. I also got Ross Barkley, who's going to be our cam until we can get somebody better, but not a lot like paying out in these, considering it's 12,000 FIFA points. I mean, this does go a long way. You open up, I believe, about 80 packs with 12,000 FIFA points, but I just was packing nothing. I was actually amazed at, you know, I was watching Huge Gorilla earlier on in the day when I was recording this, and he had something like 10 million coins. Like, he must have put crazy amount of FIFA points, because in order to grind out 10 million coins, like, that is a lot of FIFA points. So credit to those guys that have like full icon teams and stuff already. Like, I think that's crazy, but I mean, hey, if you're willing to put time and if it's your career, like those guys, like, I could see why they do it. But I'm amazed at some of the teams that I'm seeing on Twitter and on like Reddit and whatnot of guys that have like full like icon teams and full like all rare, high-rated teams. I'm just like, where are these guys getting this from? They must be spending crazy money early days here, because they definitely can't get it from playing. But let's just jump back into the packs here. So as you guys can see, like, they weren't really paying out. Unfortunately, I got a phone call there, so I had to take a quick break. But we had so many players that were coming up that were just players I didn't think really deserved rare cards. Like, they were just, I don't understand EA's system. Like, I think what they do with rare cards is it's just like, if you have a unique stat, like if you have a lot of pace or a really high passing for a specific league, they make you a rare card. I don't think that should be the case. I think like Premier Leagues should have all the rare players for the most part, like Bundesliga, Serie A, and then like if you get like a guy like David Villa, who's like a special card for like the MLS, like, sure, I get it. Like, he's a high rated card and he's still considered a star, but there's a lot of players that like are common cards, like a Phil Jones, for example. Like, he's not a star, but he's a starter on Manchester United, like one of the biggest clubs in the world. He's one of their starting center backs, and he's a common card. And then you get a guy like this. Like, shocking. And as I speak of the devil, there's Phil Jones right there. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have probably seen it so many times. You get excited because you're getting a rare card, and then you get pull-off. Like, he's a 76 rated Russian player from the Russian league. And no offense to the guy, but is he really deserving of it? I don't know. We actually ended up packing a lot of La Liga players as well. Those are going to be guys that I actually plan on selling quite often. They're guys that you pack and have a high demand, but La Liga is not a league that I plan on building a team around. I've said in my previous video, and I'll say it again, what I plan on doing is building one main team for my Premier League team. That's where I'm going to put a majority of my focus in terms of my coins, and then build a second fitness team with a Serie A Calcio A team. So that's where I want my focus to go right now, towards the Premier League. After all of this, you guys will see, like, I pretty much kept everybody in the club right now. I ended up selling, not in this episode, but after the fact, so you're not going to see it, but you'll see it before the start of the next episode. I sold a bunch of these commons, like you see there, Giovinco. It's the second one that I got. So guys like that, 1,000 coins. I think I ended up picking up a couple thousand coins, maybe about 10,000 coins. So I think right now I'm at about 38K. And that's keeping everything in the club. So I haven't sold anything from my main club. Those are just duplicates and things that coins that I was able to accumulate from discarding and from doing some of the SBCs and whatnot. So I still have a huge club that's jammed full of like common cards and a lot of rare cards that I don't plan on using, but nothing really crazy. Like, I got a couple guys, which you'll see in a little bit, I don't want to ruin it, that have some value, but for the most part, coin-wise, I'm a little bit poor. I'm only at about 38K. But I was looking at guys like Gabriel Jesus, but they're still going for too much. Like, a guy like Gabriel Jesus right now is going for like 40, mid to high 40s. Even a guy like Morata, 38K or something like that. I saw him on the market for on PS4. So these are too much in terms of what I perceive their value to be. Like, I think a guy like Morata, maybe 20K at the very most, like I would pay for him. And Gabriel Jesus, I think, will drop a little bit. So my theory and what I think is going to happen from previous experience in FIFA is towards this weekend, right now it's Wednesday that you guys are probably seeing this, but towards the weekend, you're going to start seeing, like, all the early guys got it day one. They're going to get it maybe today. You'll see some guys adding on, and even Thursday and Friday, you're going to see guys jumping in. But really Friday and into Saturday mainly is when you're going to see, Saturday and Sunday is when you're going to see a lot of people going out and getting the game. There's not as many hardcores, like people are still dealing with the web app. Maybe they just have school or they have work and they haven't had the chance to go get it. They don't like dealing with digital downloads like like I did. 2 hours it took to download this full game. It was so annoying to install the thing. But you're going to see a huge influx of players coming in on the weekend, and what you're going to see is a divide created. So right now there's a lot of players. Obviously you've got like hardcore guys that are putting crazy money into the game, and you've got a lot of guys that are discard value already. But what you're going to start seeing is you're going to see a gap start created. So you're going to see the main players from main leagues, like players like Iniesta. So right now Iniesta, say hypothetically, goes for 60 to 80K. I think he'll go up as the weekend comes because more people will be jumping on the game. They'll be looking for players like that. High-rated guys like Lacazette, Messi, Ronaldo, they're going to go up, but they're not going to go up a crazy amount because they're already ludicrously high. But those kind of mid-range, high-rated guys that a lot of people want in their team, those are the guys that are going to go up. They're going to start going up and up and up. And then you're going to start seeing the lower-rated guys, a lot of the common guys, a lot of the easily packed, like, shiny players. Like if you're building a Russian team, for example, and you get like a bunch of 70 to 80 rated or 76 to 82 rated guys, those guys are actually going to go down. So you're going to see the lower level gold players that are packed a lot, they're going to creep down because more of them are getting packed and there's not as much demand for them. And then higher rated guys are going to go up. So an interesting player is like a Gabriel Jesus. I think you're going to see him slightly decrease just because so many people are going to be packing him. He's only like an 81 rated card. Right now he's going for, like I said, about 40 to 50K, anywhere in between there. I think you're going to start seeing him creep down a little bit as the year starts to go on, and even into this weekend you're going to start to see him creep down. That's my theory, don't quote me on that, but that's what I think is going to happen because so many people are going to be packing 81 rated guys, and they're not going to have as much demand as guys that are higher. There's going to be a lot of people that want him, but because there's so many infiltrating the market, you're going to see his price get lower and lower and lower because people are going to be trying to undercut each other in order to try and get money on the market for him. So anyway, back to the pack opening. You guys see that I start packing actually some better players towards the tail end of this. We got Renato Sanchez actually from one of the free packs, surprisingly. So Renato Sanchez was one of the guys that I was really interested in getting. He was only going for about 10 to 12K, but I was so excited to get him because he was one of the players that I really wanted in my starting squad. To use him as a CDM, right now I'm just going to be using him as a center midfield because I don't want to pay for a lot of position changes, but I do think that he's a guy that even if he doesn't get informs, I might keep him in my squad for the entire year. I was so excited when he went to the Premier League. So I've said for a long time that I think the pack weights on free packs like SBC packs and those things, I think they pay out better. I think the paid packs like these, they aren't paying. The card weights are actually a lot lower, but my theory is on the higher rated, not higher rated, but the free to play packs are actually the ones like the free loan packs and the free packs that you get from paid packs. It's just like, hey, here's a free one player pack. Those are going to pay out. SBC packs pay out because they want people doing them. They want people playing these things and they want to feel like rewarded for putting time into the game. And I just think they have higher value. So as we come towards the tail end of this, you guys are starting to see that my pack luck started to pick up a little bit. I picked up Leonardo Bonucci, which was by far my largest pull, and we picked Bakayoko. So Bonucci goes for 30-something K. Bakayoko was going for like 20 to 30K. He might go up a little bit, but he's another guy who I think, like Gabriel Jesus, is going to drop a little bit because more people are going to be packing him. 82 is a pretty common player rating, and you're just going to see him go up and up and up. But people love him because you know, having his blonde hair in the game, people love having the blonde hair, just like they like having like the dreaded players like Ruud Gullit. So even though Ruud Gullit's a beast and Renato Sanchez are beasts, people love seeing like the dreads flying. So having like the guy with the blonde hair running through the middle of your midfield is actually kind of cool to have. His stats are average; they're not great, but he actually is a fairly decent card. So to have those two into my team was pretty cool. They're both cards that I can use. It wasn't like I got them from leagues that I wasn't able to use. I might consider selling them eventually, especially if their prices go up, because I don't think Bakayoko is going to hold his price. I think by the end of the year, you're probably going to start seeing them go for about 1,000 coins. Like 82 rated is not super high for a player like that. He doesn't have crazy pace. So I was even contemplating selling him. You might even see him sold by the start of the next episode because he's going for 20 to 30 something. So if I see any type of price spike in him, he's as good as gone in my opinion. We also packed a lot of Premier League midfielders, so I'm not too concerned with that. So as you guys can see here, some of the stuff, this was all selling surprisingly. All of these players, I actually ended up selling them on the web app after the fact So unfortunately, you're not going to see it in there. I'm not going to bore you guys with this stuff anyway. It's kind of boring to see how much they go for, but none of them went for crazy amount. Romero went for about 1,000. I think the Turkish players or any players that play in the Super League or the League of Mexico for like 1,000 or 2,000. So definitely worth keeping an eye on those. I've said for a long time. Once I saw these SBCs, that when these league SBCs come out, all these players are going to be in high demand. So anybody from the Turkish League or anybody from the Mexican League, sell. Anybody from the Premier League. Looks like a lot of people are trying to catch on to that Premier League hype, so they're trying to sell them. So a lot of guys are actually going for almost discard. So it's actually the leagues that you wouldn't expect to be selling, because I think people are just discarding them. So like Liga NOS and stuff like that, like if they have an SBC come out, make sure that you throw all those guys up onto the market. So I did a quick club tour here so you guys can see what's going on. Bonucci, Laporte, we packed. Rudiger, Benyat, I'm going to eventually sell. Arda Turan, Bakayoko goes for something. Bauman, I think, was that keeper that we picked. He's not going to be anybody that I need. Semedo was a good pull. Ben Arfa, I was surprised by how little Ben Arfa went for. I was expecting him to be a better, higher rated, higher valued player, but I think he was only going for about 2K. Cancelo, João Cancelo and Gaia were two guys that I packed in my loyalty packs. Ross Barkley, as you guys saw, and then it kind of tails off from there. So nothing crazy. Like Leonardo Bonucci was by far, in a way, the highest rated player that we got. He's always going to have value because even as the year goes on, even if people don't want him, which they do because he's topical right now since his move to Milan, and he was one of the better defenders in the Serie A already. But being an 88 rated center back, like he's just going to have demand all year round. It's like Peter Cech last year. Like Peter Cech, especially as those SBCs start coming out for like FUT birthday and Christmas and whatnot, like they're going to need higher rated players. So those guys are never going to drop. So if you're selling them right now, I think you're doing yourself a disservice. So don't sell guys too early because they are going to have some value. So as we start to head into our first game here, I'm going to show you the lineup that we're looking to move forward with. So right now I'm just putting all of the Premier League players into the squad. I just want to get them all and see what I can build. Coquelin was another guy that I was interested in. So Coquelin was one of the ones that I was going to buy. We were fortunate enough to pack him. So he's going to be my starting CDM. I'm going to move Renato Sanchez into the right midfield here. And I think I actually moved Coquelin into one of the center mid positions. We're going to put Rudiger there. Bakayoko was the guy that I wanted to, yeah, so as I put Bakayoko in, I put Bakayoko as the CDM. But eventually, like I said, I wanted to sell Bakayoko because his price is so high. So Coquelin is actually going to go into the CDM position eventually there. And he was a decent card. He was, you know, so close to Bakayoko in terms of his stats that I wasn't really that concerned. Kolasinac was a really good pull. I actually ended up, you guys probably saw that, I packed him twice. So Kolasinac was a player that I'm definitely going to keep in the squad. Very solid guy. And then we put Ashley Young at right back. So Ashley Young at right back was a very interesting one. His defending stat is actually not that high. I found that during the gameplay, which you guys will see in a little bit here, he would get caught up the field. This was my issue with Kyle Walker last year. I don't know if it's because they have high attacking work rates, but they were just so frustrating to deal with. And Ashley Young is not a big guy. He's not a physical guy. He's got decent pace, but he would just get caught. The computer was playing through balls in behind, and he would just get caught up the field all the time. So I don't know if that's common with a lot of center backs or if they just because they have high attacking work rates, but I don't recommend high attacking work rates for the wing backs because you can get burned, especially this year. Especially with the computer, because the computers like to play balls down the wings and get in behind your defenders. So having a high attacking wing back is very frustrating to have. So I do not recommend that. So that was the team we went into our first game with. Our first game was an offline game. I wanted to try out squad battles, not only because there was a daily task, but I also wanted to get going in squad battles, especially because I think the daily knockout tournament's live, but I didn't want to go into that. I didn't feel like I had a good enough team to really take on a lot of the higher rated teams that you get with the daily knockout tournaments. Also, I just wanted to kind of get my feet wet here. I haven't played a lot of the demo, so I wanted to get used to the little bit of the game here, and I thought we'd get multiple birds with one stone here by just playing an offline game. So I apologize that this isn't an online game. It's not going to be maybe as exciting by playing another player, but one of the things that I found with playing the squad battles was I only went and played on semi-pro just because, like I said, I wanted to get my feet wet. and the coin difference wasn't that much, but it was crazy how good the computer was considering. I mean, maybe not reflected by the scoreline, but the computer puts up a pretty good fight even on semi-pro. I wasn't used to that. On FIFA 18, I could just crush the computer, but it was coming up with some pretty interesting plays, and it was a lot more dynamic. It felt like the computer was a lot better than it was last year. So as we start off there, I had an opportunity with Sergio Aguero, which I bottled. I ended up trying to just low drive it. I really should just walked it in and finessed it because finesse shots are so overpowered. But as you guys can see there, my first goal, I wish I would have kept the replays. Note to self for future videos, keep the replays in there so you guys can see the goals. But we did do a fake shot and a low driven there with Diouf, and then we got some more opportunities. We were just peppering the computer early on here. The fake shot works really well. I do highly recommend it, but just kind of working our way through. And there's our second goal. So that's our first one with, I believe it was Ross Barkley, marauding through there. Ross Barkley I used in our previous Founder Academy series last year, and he was actually a bit of a beast there. He wasn't super noticeable in this game, but again, it was only our first game. He's on a basic chem style, so maybe somebody that I'll consider keeping or even moving to the center of midfield because he does have some presence to him in the midfield there. But he does get his first goal for the club. So as we go into halftime, 2-0. I didn't feel like the computer was really a problem so far. The computer was really just, it was decent defensively. It would kind of bunch up towards the box, but it wasn't offering a whole lot offensively. But as the game goes on, you can really feel the computer start to press. So as we score our third goal there, Sergio Aguero with a finesse shot. You guys have probably seen this, you hardcore FIFA guys, but there's so many tutorials about the finesse shot. The finesse shot is just so OP, especially from outside the box. You just basically get it anywhere towards the outside. Just go far post, as you guys can see here. Just go far post and then just finesse it, and almost 10 times out of 10, it'll go around the keeper. So the next opportunity I have, you guys will see, I have another chance to finesse it. And I tried a driven shot. I think I mean, granted, it wasn't with, I think it was with Renato Sanchez there, but that was an opportunity where I probably should have finessed it. I'm not as good a shooter as Aguero, but you guys can see the computer actually will identify like driven shots a lot more. So as I was trying driven shots, the computer would cover them. But with finesse shots, it just seems broken. The computer seems to just glitch out. It kind of stutters and just can't handle them. So we're up 3-0. We do get a fourth here from a penalty. So usually don't get a lot of penalties. One of my many frustrations with playing the computer is the computer will foul you in crazy ways. It'll go through you to get the ball and it won't call this stuff. And I just get so, it's one of the things that just drive me crazy about playing the computer is the amount the computer gets away with fouls, especially in the box and stuff like that. Like it'll slide tackle you from behind and I'm just like, what's that all about? But that time it did get called, so we do get our first penalty. And the funniest thing is I couldn't figure out what was going on. I was trying to initiate the run up with the left. However, I did have to initiate it with shoot. So instead of clicking like up on the left stick or just flicking up on the left stick to initiate the run, you have to hit O, I think. So I think you direct your shot and you can change the power, which I didn't know because I was being cocky and didn't read the tutorial. I just figured it was the same. But I think you can change the power or the speed of which you want to run up with L1 or L2. I didn't bother doing that. I really just decided to just take it like I would in FIFA 17. However, he wasn't initiating the run-up, so I was waiting and waiting and waiting and finally hit O, and then he finally started to move forward. So I think something that I definitely need to practice is the penalties, because penalties obviously have been tweaked of some sort, or my computer or my controller wasn't identifying. So as you guys can see, after I scored that fourth, the computer really started to press. It started to push here. And when the computer wants to, it can just avoid you. As you guys can see there, I just couldn't defend it. Like, I was trying my best to stay in front of it, to put in tackles, and it will just, like, as soon as you hit tackle, it jukes to the left or jukes to the right. And when it wants to, another frustration with playing the computer, it can just score whenever it feels like. So thankfully, I was on semi-pro. It wasn't causing a problem, but you guys can see I'm trying to put in tackles here, and it's just avoiding me. And then when it wants to score, it scores. Like, my defender wasn't even identifying a clearance there. He just basically was running like a robot into the guy, and he just walks in and smashes it. So they were really pressing. They were really interested. It felt like I went from semi-pro to pro or even legendary or whatever it is, world class or whatever it is, because they were a lot more aggressive, and they were trying to get the ball back and actually trying to go for it. So towards the later stages of the game, I really had to just hold possession and just be a little bit sweatier with it. As you guys can see here, I tried to do a sweat shot across goal there, and the computer even fouled my guy. You'll see it on the replay here, and then it goes through to Barkley, and Barkley, of course, is never going to score that with his left, but look at that. It trips my guy up. So things like that I just get so frustrating, or I get so frustrated playing. I don't know if those are just computer things or if those are just getting FIFA'd, but that's just the way it is. But we do win 4-1, so our first squad battle is going to be a success. Huge victory there for us. I was very interested to see where I progressed through. From what I understand with squad battles, I don't know if there's a minimum like in FUT Champs, but I know that I think you get the entire week. I know you think that doesn't make any sense, but I think you get the entire week to play as many games as you can, and it basically resets your 4 players, your 4 opponents every, 3 or 5 hours or something like that. So every 3 hours, it's basically encouraging you to play. So you come on, you pick the 4 squads, you can play all 4 of those games if you want at whatever level, and you essentially play as many games as you can. But I think you only really need to play, in order to get Elite 1, which is really decent rewards, I think you really only need to play about 15 games on Semi-Pro, and you'll get somewhere close to that. As you guys can see there, playing on Semi-Pro got me 753 coins, or 753 points, so I ranked up to, what was that, Bronze 2 or Bronze 3? So, like, if you can get up to Elite 1, if you play, like, 20 games, you can easily get to, like, Elite 1, unless I'm doing my math totally incorrectly, but you know, definitely possible there. So as we head into the end of the video, guys, that's going to be it. So watch for episode 2. I'll try to make it a lot more concise than this one is, but I appreciate you guys watching. So please leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.